Male after RTI with a proximal tibial fracture with an extension into the intra-articular, with having intra-articular extension, and he is having tense anterior compartment. In suspicion of the anterior compartment syndrome, we have taken him. And now let's familiarize with the landmarks that we have marked already. This landmark is actually the outmarking of the patella. This is the marking of the tibial plafond. This is the most medial edge of the tibia. This is the anterior edge, bony edge of the tibia. This is the tibial tuberosity, and this is the medial malleolus. And here in this case, if you see laterally, you can see this is the head of the fibula, and this is the neck of the. This is the marking of the lateral malleolus. Here we can see what are the markings for the medial incision of the two incision 4 compartment fasciotomy. 3 finger breadth below the medial joint line and at least 2 finger breadth lateral to the medial most margin of the tibia. Similarly, the caudal most extent will be 3 finger breadths, at least 3 finger breadths, cranial to the distal most margin of the medial malleoli. In the incision, we should be careful to preserve 2 structures. Actually, the datasaphenous vein and the saphenous nerve, that is a cutaneous, that provides cutaneous supply. Similarly, in case of the lateral incision, it is taken at least 1.5 finger breadth anteriorly or 1 adult breadth anteriorly to the fibula. It should start again 3 finger breadths below the lateral joint line, and it would extend anterior to the lateral malleoli, at least 3 finger breadth cranial to the distal most extent. While putting this incision, we should be very careful not to injure the superficial peroneal and the common peroneal division that is coming just lateral to this segment. And while we should not go too deep to injure the intermuscular septum of the anterior compartment and the lateral compartment. This is the facial fibers, okay? If you put a small incision, go beneath it and reverse split and come out. This is the muscle hematoma, and we can clearly see there is so much tension. The muscle is actually popping out from underneath the fascia. This is what you strive to look for in a fasciotomy. And while doing this maneuver, always keep the tip away from the muscle, otherwise you will lacerate the muscle itself. See, the muscle is actually popping out. To better do it, you can put forceps beneath it, again delineate, and again increase the incision. See? Wash it rapidly. The muscle is exposed now. Put a suction minute. This is our gastroc. This one is our gastroc. Right? Do not undermine the skin flap between the gastroc, and do not undermine the perforators between the, this is the soleus. This is the gastrocnemius. What we have to do, we have to feel again the medialmost margin of the tibia here, and have to detach this middle and cranial few centimeters of the soleus from the tibia itself, so that from the superficial posterior compartment we will be able to go to the deep posterior compartment. These are all muscle hematomas in the subcutaneous space. Do not have to bother about anything. From the caudalmost region, we are going cranially. Retract the skin flap, please. The posterior tibial arcade. This is the posterior tibial arcade. This is the flexor hallucis longus tendon. Okay. And this is the intermuscular space between the deep posterior and superficial posterior. There will be again perforators here. Now you can clearly see this is gastroc, this is soleus, this is the deep posterior compartment. See how beautiful it is. This is the posterior tibial. This is the posterior tibial arcade. This is the posterior tibial arcade. And the cranial most 5 to 6 centimeter will have direct attachment of the soleal fibers with the tibia itself. For that, better we take the coagulating portion of the monopolar. And you just have to scrape closely. Good. Give me light in the field. Light. This is the fascia. There might be some perforators, it might bleed. This would be our extent. Okay. See, beautiful perforators coming to the soleal pump. Now what we have to do, we have to incise this deep fascia. Okay, you can do it medial to it, medial to. Now if you look carefully, if you rotate this limb, you can see the the lateral most structure here is actually the peroneal artery and the peroneal trunk. See how beautifully it is seen. This is the peroneal trunk. This one is the peroneal trunk. It is going laterally, and this one is the posterior tibial trunk. Okay, you can incise this fascia at this portion between them, or you can incise at the lateral portion also. We'll do the same maneuver. We'll pick up the fascia. We'll put our scissors beneath, make a space and incise. We'll again pick up the margin. Now here in this region we can encounter perforator that will here will be again one perforator coming laterally. These are all the three Mayo and Kastner perforators, 5, 10 and 15 centimeter in this position. These are the perforators. One will be here. This is the 10 centimeter perforator. This was the 15 centimeter perforator. So now the patient compartment is released. The muscle is exposed. Then the spring contraction. Now in this extent from the cranial to the caudal extent, we can see this is the gastrocnemius. This is the intermuscular plane. This is the soleus. We have removed and coagulated two perforators. One perforator here and second perforator here. This is the second and third Mayo Kastner perforator. 10 centimeter and 15 centimeter cranial to the medial joint line of the ankle. Here we can see clearly this is the deep posterior compartment. We have incised the fascia over the deep posterior compartment. This is the tibialis posterior. This is the flexor hallucis longus tendon. This is the posterior tibial arcade. And if we trace medially, we can see the peroneal arcade also. If we trace medially, we can see the peroneal arcade also. See, this is the peroneal arcade. And these are the perforators to the soleus itself. This is another perforator. See, this is another perforator. This one is another perforator. This is another perforator. This is the perforator. That's how the soleus acts as a peripheral pump, peripheral motor pump. Or we are safely away from the LSV. Then there might be 1 2 tributaries coming. This is the lateral most margin of the tibia. And whenever putting an incision, grab the fascia, at least keep one longitudinal incision and take your meds. Take your meds. Keep it parallel, tip upward so that you can see the tip. Grab the fascia, keep the tip up so that you do not injure the muscle underneath. And always run parallel with the muscle till the place you can see the tip of your scissor. It will not injure the muscle, it will not injure the nerve, it will not injure the tendon. So reverse split, come back, pick up the fascia, go caudally. Okay. Our anterior compartment is exposed throughout. Incise, keeping the jaw up, keeping the tip of the jaw up. Good. Proceed. Good. See, the anterior compartment is exposed now. Now look at the intermuscular septum here. See, this is the intermuscular septum. You trace it laterally and push the muscles medially.
Anterior or lateral compartment?
Anterior and lateral. We are doing this tediously only to preserve the superficial peroneal layer. Now if you see the nerve now. See the nerve? This is the nerve. It always averts the intermuscular septum of anterior and lateral. That's why we should never put a edge incision. Never ever shouldn't put a transverse incision over it. Never ever put a edge incision over it. That's why we incised over a fleshy part and then extended over the tendon, so that the nerve is far away. See, throughout our continuity, the nerve is intact. throughout the continuity, the nerve is intact. This is our nerve. This is our nerve. See, we have not extended beyond it. This is our nerve going. This is our extent. Right. We might not possibly, we cannot ever possibly injure the nerve. Got it? Now extend it cranially. Cautery. Okay, this is the peroneus longus, tertius and brevis. Peroneus longus and brevis, tertius will be down here. And our lateral compartment is exposed now. Please give me the bipolar ones. Okay, our muscles are exposed. Now we can see clearly this is the intermuscular septum between the lateral and the superficial posterior. This is the intermuscular septum of anterior and lateral, and we can clearly see throughout its entirety this is the superficial peroneal nerve. You can trace it to the caudalmost part of our incision. We can see it is intact, we have not injured it, and also to the cranialmost part of it. This is the superficial peroneal nerve going deep to it. That's why we should never injure the intermuscular septum. Okay, now our anterior compartment is exposed. If we dissect it, we can see the ATA pedicle beneath this. Beneath this is the ATA pedicle. This is the tibia. Okay, wash the wound.